stenciling. So if you remember the 1980s, if you were around then, you might remember that we were stenciling mad, and every interior had to have some stencil decoration. If we weren't stenciling on our walls, we were stenciling on fabrics and all sorts of things. So it was the sort of the high tide of stenciling. So I thought I would kind of revisit that this afternoon with a little bit of stenciling. So it's quite easy to do. I'll show you it quickly on this pot that I did earlier. Um, so basically, like Lorna, I've used a terracotta pot, and I've decorated it just very simply with some um, heart shapes there, that I've used a stencil to create. And you can use it to put your little gift in. Sorry, I'm having difficulty finding where my centre is. There we go. You can see it there. So I'll put a little bit in it, and that's the pot. So to be able to do that, you can actually buy stencils, but it's very easy to make them. You can buy them; they're cut out of this kind of card, which is slightly waxy, so it repels the paint. But that can be quite expensive, so it's quite easy to make your own. And I thought I would just kind of demonstrate. First of all, you've got to find an image that you like, and I've got this one here that's turn it around. It's a vase of flowers, and you can see that better that way. So it's a vase of flowers, and what I did was I didn't want to use all of the image, so I traced part of it. So you can see that. So I made a tracing drawing of, I'm just getting the paper assembled. So I picked a part of it and I said, oh, I quite like that. Where's it there? So I used some it's not tracing paper. I just went to the kitchen drawer and I got some greaseproof paper out, and I just drew over the shape like that so I could see it clearly. And then I transferred that onto a piece of card. So I don't know if you can see that, it's quite faint actually. Get up to the camera, you might get more of a chance to see it there. So I transferred the tracing onto this sheet of card, and you do that by you just put the bit that you've drawn on the pencil side down, and then you just draw over it again so that the image comes out on your piece of card. And then once you've done that, you cut it out, and you can either use a pair of scissors, but that's a bit difficult when you've got an intricate pattern. If you've got an intricate pattern, you can use a blade like this, which is very sharp, so you have to be careful with it, but it does allow you to cut out a very intricate pattern, and you just do it on a board, like a chopping board, or something like this to protect your table. But you just use your blade to cut out the shapes that you've drawn. I won't do this because I've done one already, and I'll show you what that looks like. But that's the technique you would use to do an intricate pattern like that from a tracing. But what you can do, and what is nice and easy, is just cut one out with a pair of scissors. So if you want to do a heart shape, we're on Valentine's Day, so I thought we would do that, is you take a piece of card and you fold it in half, like so, and then you can draw this. To me, it looks like an ear, if you were drawing an ear or a handle on a cup. So you draw this shape like so. So you're drawing half of your heart, and then just get your scissors and you cut round the line that you've drawn carefully with your scissors, like so, and just keep going right round. So cut your heart shape like that. So this bit you don't need, this is the bit you want, and hey presto, you've got your heart. So I've used card because you can use paper, but it's easier with card. It's a bit thicker, so you could use I don't know, cereal packets or something like that. It's easy to get your hands on. any kind of thin card from packaging. So you can use that as your stencil for your painting. So as I showed you earlier, I've done this on a pot. So what I did was, again, I got a piece of card and I just folded it in half because I wanted to do lots of little shapes, and I just drew my hearts and then a little diamond and then a heart and then squiggly shape there up, and that's what I've got to stencil. So as you can see in my pot, I'll show you what I did. I just stuck it on like that, and then I used the paint, and then I took it off, and that's what it looks like. So it's useful to, if you're doing it straight onto the pot, which can sometimes be easy because difficult because it's curved rather, is you want to stick your stencil down. So I use some tape to stick it down, and that keeps it there and keeps it nice and steady while you're doing the painting. So painting it, I'll just demonstrate the technique I used. You could use a paintbrush if you wanted to, but you can get a nice effect, a sort of what you call a sponged effect. And if you're a bit of a fan of pottery and you like Emma Bridgewater, she uses this kind of effect on her things. And so what you need is some of her lovely acrylic paint again. And I've got it on a saucer. I have to read the kitchen this morning. And I've got a little bit of sponge, and any kind of sponge will do. Just a little bit of sponge, and you want to get your paint. I'm just using white paint here. It shows up quite well on the terracotta pot. So you just want to dab your sponge in the paint, and you want it to be quite dry, really. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not soaking wet. And if you just kind of keep dabbing it until you get so that you can actually see the sponge print rather than just a gooey mess. So get a bit of the sponge print there. And then you take it and you just dab it onto the pot. Of course, the stencil allows you to keep a nice shape. That's it, and just dab all around. It's quite a nice technique, this. It's nice and easy to do once you get as long as you get your stencil steady, that's the main thing. And also put it on straight. I think I might go a bit scolded, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So you just dab it all over like that until you're satisfied with the amount of paint you've got on. You might want to put a bit more on once you've done a light coat. You might think, oh, I'd quite like that bit to be a bit brighter. So just dab again. There you go. And then when you're happy with that, you just remove your stencil and hey presto, as if by magic, you have a lovely stencil design. So that's the principle of stenciling. You can do it on any surface, as I've mentioned. I've made a gift card here, so just done the same thing, just put it on a gift card, pop that in with my plant, and you could give that a try. There you go. So I've just used one colour on here, but you can switch it up once you get your eye in, and you can switch it up. I showed you that this stencil that I did on my card. So that's the one that I did with the tracing, and then I cut it out, as you can see, and then I decided that I would quite like to try some different colours out. So as you can see by my dabbings on here, that I used some different colours. I've used green, used blue, and I've used some pink. And if you do that, you can get quite a nice looking one. So that's it there with my different colours. It's nice to experiment. You can try it out and try it out and see. So I'm trying to show you the best angle. There we go. So this is it. So as you can see, I did some green there, and then I stopped, and then I do the lightest colours first. So you probably want to start with the pinks, and then do your greens, and then do your blues. And don't worry if it sort of merges in, because it makes some nice kind of little nice blended colours in there. So you can have a little experiment with that. This is just on plain terracotta, so it's nice and easy. No preparation, you don't have to paint it in advance. So I thought, well, I would like to pop in a nice plant in here. And so I got this lovely chrysanthemum. Get it in shot. There it is. You can see that's a lovely purpley colour. And so I can pop it in the terracotta pot. If you want to keep this indoors and you want to make sure that when you're watering it, that it doesn't get your table all wet, this plant came with a plastic wrapper. So I've just cut the wrapper down so that it creates a nice base so that the water doesn't get out. So you can pop it on your windowsill without getting it all wet. And do that, or if it doesn't come in a wrapper, you can just pop in a plastic bag. That would do the job, a bit like that. So there you go. You can try that out. Try a bit of stenciling. Okay.